Hello and welcome to a playthrough of the first level-ish of Hercules. This was I believe it was a 1997 PlayStation game. I downloaded it for less than a fiver, I think, a few years ago on Steam, and I very recently decided to try it again. Couldn't remember the controls, really couldn't remember them. It's either WASD or the up, down, left, right keys if you're playing it on a computer, and then you've got X and C for I think C is punch and X is to use your sword. And this level, especially this first one, is so nostalgic for me because I remember trying this game when I was quite a young kid, maybe about 7 years old. And these like target, sack, funny head things are the thing that really stuck out in my mind. And I clearly never played it any more, any further along than this level. So you collect the doll at the end of each task. Now, I forgot something here. During all the levels of Hercules, each one you can collect lots of gold or silver letters that spell out Hercules, and they're dotted about, and some are easier to get than others. There is one, you may have just seen it, with a couple of coins at the very top of that structure. What I should have done there is I should have only done one or two of the sacks and then jumped up when I could still reach, and then I could have jumped up higher. One thing with this is, so you play from left to right, but I really love the depth in this game because with this level you're playing left to right, but you also have things that move back and forth from the background to the foreground, and I think the sort of depth of field and stuff is really good. I love the music of this game. And there you go. I forgot that they could, basically I forgot that you could just get whacked by the sandbags. There's loads of different coins to collect. There's lots of little silver coins, and then there's lots of big gold coins. Could not remember, there you go, there's a letter. Couldn't remember what they actually mean and the significance of the Hercules letters either, but I'll get more onto that later. So with this one, I didn't need to stop using my sword on the training bags because it swings and moves anyway, so I could have waited until getting all of them and I could still have accessed the letter and the coins at the top. So I love that you've got, is it Pegasus in the background? And you've got the Danny DeVito voiced thing. What is it? Is it a nymph? Is it a dwarf? Is it a goat? Forgive me, I'm not hugely familiar with the actual film from way back when, but this game is awesome. I found this bit really difficult to time the swords / the punches or stabs, I guess you should say, because sometimes I would completely miss, other times I would just catch it once but it wouldn't rip, and then sometimes I'd be successful. So I couldn't quite work out the perfect timing. It was a little bit of a stab in the dark, literally, but eventually got it in the end. And I just love the way the graphics work on this, I really do. I like through this level, not only are you getting used to the game, I always thought it was just a training level, and in fact this level took a lot longer than I thought it was going to complete. Not that I'm complaining, we've got Herculade there for extra health, back on the bar at the top, but I always thought this was just a short training level. In my mind, that's how I remembered it, but yeah, it was quite a long level really. Again, not complaining, but it's just a nice introduction for what is to come. Now we've got a slight dip in the floor. I did remember that there was a way of stomping to access it. And these birds, I hate these birds. They're my least favourite thing about this level. And one of my least favourite things about the game so far. So this bit I quite like because it's not immediately obvious, really. You could have easily walked over that, and I think I remember from being a kid or seeing a sibling try it or something, I remembered that you could break the ground and get through. When I did that, I just jumped. Jump is the space bar, if I remember rightly, and then as you get to the top of your jump, press the down arrow and you can do a good old stomp. But yes, these birds are really tricky. You can duck by just pressing the down arrow when you're standing or walking along, but it's okay. it works a bit, but some of them dip further, so you do have to try and attack them with your sword. I've not tried to punch them. Animal cruelty in a game. Do you ever feel guilty about that when you're playing a game? Like, this is off topic, but with Roller Coaster Tycoon, sometimes people torture the guests and make them drown and stuff on purpose. And I could never bring myself to actually do it on purpose because I felt bad, even though they're just little things. And this shark, by the way, I was too focused on trying to jump to even think about trying to attack it, whether you can or whether you just have to time yourself. So this is not the most informative playthrough of this game, I must admit. You've got a sort of save spot there with that flying blue thing with really nice sparkles coming out of its tail. Yes, this is not the most informative walkthrough, and it's not a walkthrough, this is just me commenting on playing this game and having an absolute nostalgia trip. One thing that surprised me was these pillars were really difficult to break. They took forever, whether I tried using a sword, whether I tried punching them. I personally feel like they took a little bit longer than they ideally should do. You've got the pots. I believe the pots are to do with the password that you get to be able to access the next part of the game. Something else that I did just want to comment on is the fact that I'm jumping behind the trees where you can't see, but that is because I decided to just test whether they've hidden anything literally out of sight. You have got these flying whirling dervish things. They're not so bad. And again, you've got that depth of field where they pop out from the back. So I've not always been the biggest fan of these kind of 2D. I mean, it's not technically 2D, but these kind of left to right games like Abe's Odyssey, Abe's Exodus. I was never quite a huge fan of left to right kind of gameplay. I prefer it to be kind of first person or like third person behind the character, and you're travelling in the direction that your character's going in. I always find it a little bit of a mind boggle when you're technically pressing the keys, but you're not necessarily going the same direction on the screen, if that makes sense. Anyway, this is an exception to the rule with these kind of left to right 2D games because there's so much depth to it. And in this level, as you'll see in a little bit, you get to move into the background and in different layers, and I think it's really clever. I really like the colouring of this game too. And yeah, it just gently tests you, but there are some, I wouldn't say annoying, but difficult parts, like these bloody birds. Hence why there's so much Hercules everywhere. So if you did unfortunately lose all of your health, you would be taken back to your last save point with those blue fly angel herald things. I'm calling a lot of things, and I'm saying a lot, so I do apologise. I have rescued, I'm saying a lot too, apologies again. I have got a few of those blue lightning rod things, there you go, and those at the fire version. I don't really know what they do, nor do I couldn't work out how to activate them, but I collected them anyway. But hopefully in future levels I'll work out more of what can be done. So I've just stepped on a boulder there. Now I really like, again, this is another clever element. You can pick up the boulders and use them to step on, to jump up to get other things. You can put them to help literally move you along further in the game, because if you don't move that boulder, you can't get up here and progress further. So it's not like you can reach a few more coins if you move the boulder. It's literally, no, you have to be able to do any more. So with this, I just pressed the direction button, and it let me pick it up. So I was facing left then, and it let me sort of pick up the boulder, if I remember rightly. So yeah, you've got quite a few of these different platforms to get higher up on these kind of cliffs and bits and bobs. One thing I didn't like when holding the boulder was that the birds could still attack you, even though you couldn't do anything about it because you were holding the boulder. that annoyed me. It's like, I don't mind that they are there to potentially attack me, but at least give me the option of somehow, or give me the chance of somehow being able to avoid them or get them back and kill them. Now I've got a few more letters. Annoyingly though, with the Hercules letters, I missed that one literally at the very beginning. So I was a little bit annoyed that there was no way of going back to get it, or it reappearing somewhere else later in the level. It's just, okay, it's gone, it's gone. Another thing with this game as well is the fact that you don't save your progress in the same way as a lot of other games. You essentially have a password, as I've discussed, that if you collect all of those big mystery pots, which aren't well hidden or anything, they're fairly easy to get, but if you get all them classic like Greek big terracotta pots, if you get all of them, you spell out the password, which is different symbols, and then when you revisit the game again in the future, you can put that password in, select the right symbols, and it will take you to the next level. So in terms of your general progression in the game, you don't lose that. However, you do lose, like, basically your progress in that way. It's not personalized, so it doesn't matter how well you complete one level, it's not going to impact, apart from getting a password to the next level, it's not going to impact your progression in the rest of the game. You're not going to get to the very end and go, okay, well, through playing all of these different levels on my own little account or bit on the game, it's not going to say, well, overall you've collected all of this and here's your final bonus or reward or whatever, or your completion rate or anything like that. So that's one thing that I didn't like so much about the game, is the fact that it doesn't matter. Obviously, if you complete the level like 100%, you get all the coins, all the letters, everything, then great. But you can't necessarily sort of build on it unless you noted it down or screenshot it, you know. Now here we are. We've gone further into the back of the level. Now I really like this. I think it's really clever, and I like that you've got certain things to help break it up, and you've got the lines to sort of gently show you where you can move back and forth. I just think it's really clever. So we've not got too much longer till the end of the level, and yes, I could have completed it a little bit quicker if I'd maybe had a quick little go first, got my bearings, and then tried it for real. But I wanted to give a genuine sort of playthrough. Like I said, until a few years ago, I hadn't played this game since maybe like 2000, something like that. And I was surprised as well how well it's working. I've got an Asus TUF laptop. I've had it for a couple of years, and I wasn't sure if this game would be able to run okay. And it's been absolutely fine. I definitely think this is worth getting though, if you have Steam and you want that nostalgia trip, even if you've not played it before, or you're not necessarily a fan of the whole Hercules film or anything like that, or you're not a fan of much Disney. I think this game is still definitely worth playing. It's just nice. It's not too heavy, it's not too complicated, but it's just got that little bit of challengingness. That was terrible English. Just got that right level of challenging about it to make it worth having a go and maybe trying again, but without being too frustratingly difficult. I hate when a game is too hard. And we've got some arse wiggling, and we've got the end. So when you get to the big lightning strike, you have finished. So I didn't get the H, so I'm never going to know what that would have done, if anything. If there was a bonus graphic or whatever, I don't know. And then you have a completion rate with 91% of the coins. I did better than I thought. I got hero rating. Don't know what the maximum level of ratings are, whether there is one above hero. I've got no idea. But yes, you get a roundup of your rating, your coinage, your Hercules letters. It's really frustrating me. I'm sure I could just do a quick Google now and find out what it actually means. But I'm not, because I don't want to ruin this recording. So let me know what you think in the comments. Do you think this is this what you remember? Does this look like something that you want to spend a little bit of money on? Don't know. But here, I found the secret password. There we go. I've got my symbols, so I can play the next level if I want to. Now, I was curious, so what I've done is I decided to just leave the next level playing because I wanted to see what it was. I couldn't remember. So with the next level, it's actually, instead of going left to right, after going on about left to right in 2D games, you are just facing forwards. So this was just a silly experiment really, but this is the next level. And what I did is I just left it running. I didn't press anything. I didn't do anything with any of my keys, hence why I keep banging into everything, because I just wanted to see how far I could progress before I died, basically, without pressing any keys. And I collected a letter without even trying. So yeah, I'm not pressing a single thing on this. So I'll show you how far I got. It's kind of annoying there because I saw all the things that I was bashing into thinking, oh God, I could have actually done it. So yes, this is another aspect of how you can play the game. There aren't lots of levels like this if I remember rightly. And there you go, I stacked it. But there you go. Thank you very much for watching / listening. Hope you enjoyed. And I'll see you next time. Bye.